Welcome to the KX Country Clubhouse. I'm Derm, and joining us this afternoon in the clubhouse, we welcome Tenille Arts. Hey, Tenille, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. You're in Nashville right now?
I am, yeah. I've been here since all the craziness started. So.
And how has the COVID-19 pandemic been going in Tenille Arts world?
I mean, I guess I've been trying to stay creative. You know, I've been doing a bunch of Zoom writes and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, my team's still been working hard to make some things happen. So it's actually, there's been quite a few really exciting things that have been happening.
And that's the way you got to deal with it.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, trying to find the positivity and everything. And I think, yeah, if people are able to do that during this time, you know, we're going to come out better people and everything will be fine.
For sure. You're from Weyburn, Saskatchewan. When the pandemic was starting, was there any thought of you getting out of Nashville, getting out of the States and heading back home? Any pressure from family or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, so I was actually in Europe when some of the travel bans started happening. I was over there for a festival. So, you know, just kind of quick decision, we'll go back to Nashville and figure it out from there. But then everything really started getting locked down. And so my opportunity to go back to Canada was kind of postponed, and nobody really thought that it was going to last this long. You know, I was supposed to have a bunch of shows up there, you know, in April, March, and, you know, even some of the festivals this summer. I was supposed to be home so much, and now it's none of that stuff is happening. So it might be a full year before I get to see family again.
How is country music doing in Europe?
Amazing. You know, I had been there one time before this trip, and they have their C2C festival over there. And you know, it's amazing to me how many country music fans they have over there. It was totally, you know, they're kind of latching onto a lot of the newer artists, and they're just huge fans. They know every word to every song. And yeah, it's a really cool country music scene over there.
I've heard some artists say after having gone to Europe and coming back that it's not really considered, it's not labeled as country music in Europe. It's just another form of pop music to many Europeans.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they kind of group it all together. And yeah, I mean, the variety of country music over there, it's similar to the US and Canada, but yeah, it's definitely kind of anything goes. It's kind of cool.
I saw you on Twitter, I guess it was last week. You did a little video and you ended the little video in tears because somebody like that was being played on Nashville Radio. That must have been, well, obviously from the video, that must have been pretty amazing.
It was so cool. You know, I've seen other artists like have that moment where they first, you know, hear their song on the radio, and I was like, I have to document this. Like, this is so cool. But I did not expect to get so emotional. I think it all just kind of hit me, you know, like driving into Nashville 5.5 years ago, moving here by myself, you know, just thinking, listening to all the radio stations and being like, oh my gosh, I want to be on these radio stations someday. And for that moment to finally happen, it was really cool.
So for a young girl with country music aspirations and country music dreams, moving to Nashville, you get your song on Nashville Radio, you've been over to Europe to play Europe. Did you imagine it would get to this level as little Tenille in Weyburn?
It was definitely the dream, and it definitely has not happened in the way that I thought it would, or in the timing that I thought it would, but it's been so amazing. I mean, part of the fun of all of this is the journey and the things leading up to those big moments, and those, I mean, it's like all of these little dreams coming true, like on the regular. And then when you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that all of those things actually happened. And now, you know, this big thing is happening. It's just, I celebrate absolutely every little thing, like any chance to pop champagne. I'm like, this is awesome. You know, it's just, there's so many cool moments, and I think all of it deserves to be celebrated.
I think that is amazingly well said. You've got to enjoy the journey. You have to enjoy every moment, because it's not going to last forever.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, you never know what like your peak is going to be, or whatever that is. So I think, yeah, you just kind of have to take in every little moment and make it count.
So you said the timing, these things are happening. The timing wasn't what you expected. Did you maybe think it would have happened sooner, or it's happening sooner than you thought, or what do you mean by timing?
I mean, certain things have happened sooner than I thought they would, and then other things, you know, I think when you're 15 years old, you like see artists and you think, oh, well, I'm gonna be a huge artist by the time I'm 20, and then 20 rolls around and you're like, oh, okay, like there's a lot more work to do. You know, I moved to Nashville when I was 21. So, you know, 5.5 years later, some of these things are really happening. And, you know, something like the Opry, I didn't expect that to happen so soon in my career. I thought that that would, you know, kind of be something further down the road, but, you know, it kind of surprises you every once in a while. You think little things are going to happen and they don't. And then the big things happen and you're just kind of surprised. So it's all just, every day is different. Every day is fun. And just looking for different ways to get out there and do different shows and all kinds of things. So it's been fun.
Did you sleep the night before the Grand Ole Opry?
No. Oh my gosh, no. I had so many like family members and friends in town, and my mom and my little sister and I were all staying in my little apartment, and I was just like a, you know, ball of nerves for, like, I think honestly I was nervous about that night since the moment I found out about it, which I found out I think last August that I was going to perform, you know, kind of mid-September to end of September. So that whole time I was just like, oh my gosh, it needs to be perfect. And the day of, you know, it was kind of, I felt pretty calm. Even though I was nervous, it was like, okay, this is happening. This is a really cool moment. And instead of focusing on being nervous, just try to take it all in and remember it. So I do have like snapshots in my mind of that day that I'll never forget.
Wonderful. Love somebody like that, doing very well in Canada. It's gone top 40 in the States. And what is happening after this song? New music, new writing for Tenille Arts.
Yeah, I mean, I've been writing constantly, and we just put out the album in January. So I'm thinking about maybe adding on to the album, since it's kind of in like, we put it out and then global pandemic happened. So thinking about just adding on to that record maybe, and continuing to write and release new music, because I think it's so exciting. You know, country music is changing and growing so quickly that, you know, I don't think you can ever have enough music out there. People constantly want new things. So that's what I'm working on. Is
there a dream artist you would love to work with?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I mean, I'm a big Keith Urban fan. I think he's super cool. And if I was to like go on tour with somebody, Keith would be amazing, or, you know, Carrie Underwood, any of those female artists. Like, I would just love to learn from them and collaborate with them maybe. And, you know, they've got so much experience in the industry that it'd definitely be fun to learn from them.
What TV shows were you binge watching during the peak of lockdown?
So I had never seen Game of Thrones before, so watched all of that, which I thought I wouldn't like it, but I really did. And then Little Fires Everywhere. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's super cool, and loved that entire season. So I'm trying to watch a little less TV now. I feel like I got really into it there for a second and it was taking over my life. So stepping away from that a little bit, but yeah, it's been, there's so many good shows out there. I mean, Tiger King, everybody watched that.
Did you do Ozark at all?
I actually did watch Ozark. Yeah, they just had, what season was it? The third season?
I think 4.
4. Yeah. Well, I've seen it all up until whatever the last season was. So yeah, love Ozark.
And you've got your Nashville Predators jersey pressed and clean for these little playoffs that are happening in Toronto and Edmonton.
I do, yeah, I'm ready. That's been a really cool collaboration that I've been doing with them recently, and so it's fun to be able to support the Nashville hockey team. But I'm sure there's a lot of Canadians being like, you should be supporting a Canadian team.
Well, Tenille, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon in the KX Country Clubhouse. Continued success, stay safe, and we look forward to when you can get back into Canada and back up into KX Country, hopefully for some tours and for us to hang out again.
Thank you so much. I would love that. As soon as I can get back up there and come and see you guys, I definitely will.
Wonderful. Thanks, Tenille. Take care.
Thanks so much. You too.